Welcome back. Welcome back. Mighty souls. We're getting into chapter 5 here, coloring in the heart. And I thought back to being at USF, and it was 2015. The marketing director had filled in for one of the professors and really kept asking us to define things. Define this, define that. What do you mean? Every time you say something, you know what I mean? Yeah, I understand, but. And we look at the definition of a heart. It's hollow, two-chamber, pump-like smooth muscle organ composed with rhythm. And then we look at what is color. And this, wow, what a long definition. A property possessed by an object of producing different sensations on the eye as a result of the way the object reflects or emits light. And as I'm putting this chapter together, looking back on it, I come to what I learned in yoga, and it's the yoking. Of both aspects. And when you first even look at these definitions, what stands out to you? And immediately I would never associate the heart with being hollow. I look down here in color and it's like, oh, it reflects or emits light. Sensations. Possessed. Rhythm. It's funny how to translate these things into words that can be expressed coherently. And the other thing that the heart is holding is the highest emotion. You know, the ace of spades. It's holding love. And what's an example of any time we've seen the heart completely colored in? For me, as I write in chapter 5, is just like when people are in love. This may have been your experience at times, but for me, there were certain people I would be like, not interested. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you see them in a different light. Or once you didn't see anything like that would be, of existence. And then a rhythm starts. And a good expression of this is when I went to Miami for a seminar with Jack Canfield, author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. He was like, you guys need to hug correctly. And he wanted all of us to hug. He's like, I'm going to demonstrate this real quick on stage. And he grabbed this younger dude and he made a joke about, this is non-sexual, ease the tension. and he's like, you got to hug from the left side so it aligns your hearts up correctly. Then you gotta hold somebody and hug them. Not a bear hug, but not, hey, you gotta hug them with as much love as you can. And then you just focus on your breathing, and that grip or whatever that hold kind of goes away, and you're trying to find in 16 seconds, scientifically, your heartbeats will line up together in the same beat. And for these people, because it's just going right back and forth, their problems, they don't hold they wait? They're not bothered by anything. They're in a different place. And what we were talking about earlier, but once was hollow, two chamber, reflecting and emitting different light. So that's one way I've always seen it, as it's been taught to me, but what if a human being could be in love independently? With the terms heartbroken and heartache, my heart hangs low, enter our cachet as much, or even hold the weight it once did. Like at some level, if this is hollow, why not color it in? Preferably green. Within. I like if we would put intentional awareness on it, could it not reflect a different light or emit a different color? And I'll say it over and over again. You know, this thing is pumping 100,000 times a day. No work days off. Like, you're thinking about Christmas or Thanksgiving, etc. That's the times you're taxing it the most. And are you ever just giving it a shout out like, hey, thanks for me last week I was at the gym and I hadn't been on cardio in a long time, but my breathing was really taking a hold. And my heart had never stressed once. My legs were hurting. But just to have that control and to thank it for that, I don't do that enough. So that starts off with how can I color it in? So just like I said, thanking it or just living in gratitude. Well, why? Why should I live in gratitude? Like if you've already done a simple technique of saying thank you to your heart, that you love it and you acknowledge that, you have a feeling of fulfillment that's being sent out. For example, if someone asks you, how are you doing? You know, what happened to me, I just came into a scratch off lotto and I won $200 and I'm really thankful because I was able to pay down my gas bill. Or I had a doctor's appointment and yeah, the procedure went great and I'm real thankful for that. That's the place where I want to live. And I need to send out immediately. And I can do that immediately. Like I was just saying, the hugging somebody for 16 seconds, immediate gratification, giving off the place where I want to be at. It's like if you're living in gratitude all the time, you understand the mantra, I'm with you, you're with me. I'm with you, you're with me. Now you've put out this flow of I have, right? You're living in thankfulness. You're like, man, I can't stop counting my blessings. The tidal wave keeps rolling in. And why does that happen? Because you're emitting a different light, a reflection of what you put out. Now this can also work in the complete opposite. How you doing? Can't complain. And then you're saying, I want, fill in the blank. I want a new job. I want a new house. I want a new lifestyle. I want a new partner. I want, which is a signal of lack, which is being transmitted. And I think we can all understand the universal law of like attracts like. So living in gratitude will help us color in our heart being fulfilled, letting it emit and reflect differently. So what's another way that we can do that? I always say music. In my second book, this thought had hit me. It was like, I was going through a bad time and I played my favorite song and I realized I couldn't hold two thoughts. Those two feelings, at the same time. So if I ever found myself in that predicament, I was like, why don't I just color in my heart and just play my favorite song? Like jam. If I'm here and I'm having an issue, I put my headphones in and I start jamming, that stuff goes away. I want to sing and dance. I mean, example, at work at the restaurant, before I come in, we gotta do all this side work, polishing, and making sure the condiments are filled and whatnot. I don't talk to anybody. I just set the tone. I put my headphones in and put some KC. That's the way I like it. And we just bounce. And I do that at work pleasantly. It's a great book I read. The quote was, it was like, you're a character. Life needs a soundtrack. Think about when you watch a movie and there's no music. You see this on the screen, but you can't really set the tone. And this way, again, like in the last example, there's no confusion. What you're sending out equals what you want. Not, I don't have. Number 3, ways to color in your heart. Meditation. I know it's only for Californians and Buddhists. And if this is new material for you, I realize this is difficult to grasp. It's the first time you've heard it. And like, what would a newbie do if I've never meditated before? And how do I do it? Because for me, one of my peers at the restaurant, a single mom, she's like, I'm on antidepressants. And I'm like, oh, I should try meditation. And she's like, oh, jokingly, like immediately. And I recognized that was the programming. And in my head, I was just thinking, man, as a single mom, I know how much you're here at night, how your day's running you, and some you can be in control of. As a human being, inhales and exhales 22,000 times a day. And yeah, it's mostly involuntary, right? You're not thinking about it. But what if you did? Because that breath is going into coloring the heart. It's bringing the oxygenated blood to carry the nutrients to make I walk and talk. But if you've never meditated before and you make that joke but currently you're like, I would like to, go down the road and see how could I try and do it. The easiest things for beginners is just find a guided meditation. Go to YouTube and then just put it on before you go to bed. And just fall asleep to it. So there's no pressure on you, so you can get used to hearing bilateral beats. And then once you get up to it, find yourself in a chair, preferably in the morning, where you can just give 10 minutes when you're still, you're not all the way at your top alertness. And the other thing, once you get to this point and you're really consciously trying to do this, breathe all the air out on an exhale. Breathe all the way out. Contract those abdominals, squeeze them. And then you're going to find you're going to want to go and exhale really quickly. But once you can just take a little breath and then you go a little farther and farther and farther, you'll find you'll get more control over it. But for a little bit more advanced people, what's been helping me, I had an amazing heart meditation last week. It's over 2 hours. And what I'll do, I start off, there's 7 chakras, right? You got your crown, your third eye, your throat, your heart, root, sacral, what was the I can't remember the name of that one. Anyway, when I start these off, I was taught that you want to create a certain vibration. So when you start out in the root chakra, which is red, ah, and what I'll do is I'll take time on each chakra, opening it up with its color, which the heart's green. And I'll just go one at a time and just take, 2 to 3 minutes on each one, breathing directly into them. Intentional awareness on them. And once I've cleared up the channels, and I've done a lot of really deep inhalations. I mean, for me, to take a breath is going to be over a 30-second inhale, followed by a 30-second exhale. And once you're into that for about 15 to 20, then you can slow your breath way down to where you're just going through your nose very subtly, because you're getting to a place where breath isn't needed. And I'll start the mantra. I choose love, and it chooses me. And I'll directly, send that right into the heart chakra and light that up green, a hollow pump, so to speak. And continuing, and I had an amazing breakthrough where everything just busted out beautifully green, because that's not one of really the dominant colors you'll see once you get enough practice. But it took me to different worlds. Here's your members only jacket. But if you're a little more advanced, just lighting one up at a time and picturing it, like the guided meditation that I really love is only 13 minutes long. And you start up at the crown chakra, and you're like, imagine 1,000 rose petals around you, and you're drawing it in. And then you're picturing your third eye, and it's an inverted triangle. And you're spinning it, and you're just lighting one up at a time, one up at a time. This makes it a lot easier if people are having trouble, like, I don't know what to do, and your monkey mind is spinning, and you can't shut it up. So in the beginning, if you just go through one at a time, breathing very slow and as deep as you can, exhaling everything out, after that 15 to 20 minutes, you'll be in that state of alpha, and you should be much deeper actually, but definitely in the state of alpha. And another thing you can do also is when you're exhaling, is just point your eyes at an angle up. This will just help induce alpha state. So by just, acknowledging the heart, giving it some thanks, putting intention on it, and also, hey, a little exercise, a little eating better. You have the ability to, anytime you want, put a fresh coat of paint on that. Anytime at your will. Just think about a 16-second example from previously. Now, what if you took that even longer? Got up to 15 and 20 minutes. Could be much more powerful. Just another way to color it in. If you're going to take just a little bit of time. That's all anything takes, right? A little pressure, a little time. A little thought, wave, particle. But one of the things that came to me, just like the title of the book, when you walk with an open heart, you start to realize you're running. When you walk with an open heart, you start to realize you're running. I love something about yoga where they say it's just a practice. It's just a practice. And I think back to Alvin Iverson. He's like, practice? Practice. You're not talking about a game. I guess with coloring in the heart, I want you to live above the rim. Be a better place. Smile big. Shine bright.